So we're doing a meet the team chat today, and we thought the first meet the team really should be with Miah. This is the man behind the camera, so it kind of makes sense. As one of the early videos, we should really be asking him what life is like as a photographer and a videographer and working here, of course. So I've got 10 questions, which you do not know the answers to. Well, I hope you know the answers. Yeah, of course. Damn it, I've done it wrong. Ha! Sorry. Right. I've got 10 questions here, all about your career or how you feel about photography.
Yeah.
And we'll run through them and we're going to get some answers to see more about you and what you love about your job. So the first one, what sparked your interest in photography and videography?
I guess when I was younger, I was watching movies and stuff and was always interested in how they did everything and the production side of it, how they'd edit videos and just the hands-on people involved as well. Like, like the lighting department, they have their role to play, and the sound engineers and the director. Essentially, he's got to make them all work together. So my vision has always been, I want to direct movies.
Okay.
I want to direct short films, movies, or just control people essentially. And
do you like the collaborative teamwork and it all comes together and gels to produce art?
A masterpiece essentially. Yeah,
love it. I mean, you've all noticed the lights going off. We've got another photographer and she's working away, so the lights may flash, but it makes more dramatic filming, I'd say.
absolutely.
Okay, next question. What excites you most about working behind the camera?
Just having that vision of what something looks like, because you're looking down a corridor and you're trying to find the bits that look good. Because obviously when you're looking at everything in real life, but with a camera, you're obscuring your vision to just that one thing.
Okay.
So you're honing in on certain areas. So for me, I see it as the lens is giving me more creativity to sort of push the item essentially, or the person. Say, for instance, when we're filming, I'm trying to make sure you look good in the shot. Same with items, making sure the item drives the shot so people know what they're looking for.
So is it like a form of tunnel vision where you just focus in on the one part?
Yeah, focus in, make sure that people know what they're looking at, no distractions.
Oh, you're making me sound quite intrigued. 3, so the photography industry is actually with all the digital work now and everything, is quite hard to get into because there's limited jobs out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So what is your top piece of advice for anyone who wants to break into the professional photography field?
Oh, that's a good one and a hard one. So you just got to put the work in, do the work, get good at it. Don't be disheartened if you can't get something right the first time, because, you can always try again. You can always think to yourself, can I do better next time? And it's all about just keep moving forward. Don't be disheartened if you're not that good at it at the start, because, when I first started, I wasn't that good. And now I look at my work and I think, wow, my work is really good. And I can see how far I've come when I look at my previous work.
How many years ago did you first pick up that camera?
God, that was probably, what, about over 15 years ago now. So it's been a while.
I remember when we advertised for the vacancy, I remember getting your CV and reading it, and I went onto your, I think it was your Instagram, and I looked at your work, and instantly I was like, oh, this is super interesting. So, and it's also putting yourself out there.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Your portfolio.
Yeah, showing people your work and, just be creative with it. Don't put yourself down and just keep working at it and keep going for it. And eventually something will come of it because your work will speak for itself.
It's like you say, it's just passionate about your work shine through.
Yeah, 100%. It's mainly passion with photography, I think, because if you're not passionate, then you're not going to get good at it.
Is art.
It is, yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, what is the most unusual or unexpected thing you've ever filmed or photographed? We can talk outside of the auction industry, because I know you've done work, you've done your bands, you've done quite a lot of artistic stuff. So cast your mind, the most unusual, unexpected thing you've ever filmed or photographed, or maybe been asked to and you refused. You can use the question that way as well.
Oh, that's a good one. So, someone asked me to shoot some quite private and nude photos once, and at the time I didn't really know how to handle it. I've never been asked that sort of question before, and I was interested, but I didn't want to put myself out there, and because they didn't want to show people, they just wanted it for themselves as an art. Yeah, and to print out and stick it on their wall. But for me, I wanted to showcase that and be like, I can do this as well. But they were quite restricted on who wanted to see the images, basically. So I sort of said, this isn't going to be for my portfolio. I'm only doing work for my portfolio at this time. Yeah, and I didn't want to start doing other things that weren't going to increase my workload, essentially. So I kind of turned that down and thought maybe in the future I can do some.
Because I suppose that'd be like when people do the light drawing classes, it's the same difference, isn't it? It's understanding the sort of the human form, and I suppose with shade and shadow within it, the striking images you can see at the top.
Yeah, yeah, it's all about lighting, isn't it? And shadows.
Personally approachably bold about saying,
She was a woman as well, and she wanted it for her husband, and she only wanted him to see it. So I was just like,
kind of like, this is where's the art for? Yeah,
yeah, and I can't be creative enough to put this in my portfolio. So I just was like, at the time, I declined it because my portfolio was more interesting than their work, basically.
oh wow, that's pretty. I like how precious you are on your portfolio, and it's like if it doesn't fit with how that needs to look, you're just gonna.
Yeah, I'm just going to say no. Yeah, don't be afraid to say no. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I think that's it because that's professional integrity.
yeah, exactly.
Um, do you remember the first camera you ever used? What was this, and what was it like? Can you remember?
Old Canon. That was a film camera, and at the time, I didn't know what I was doing. Didn't even know if there's film in it. Didn't dare open it up and see if there was film.
Not instant, or was it like a gradual?
It was an instant. As soon as I wound it up and I heard the noise of the winder, I was like, I love that sound. And I love this. I love this thing in my hand. And then after that, I just sort of looked at other cameras and stuff and started getting used to using them. And then things sort of got more digital for me. So I started picking up digital cameras and realizing, film to me is slightly better because you've got more grain. And it feels a bit more, this feels a bit more tangible.
Is that like the same as how I would look at that? Is like a vinyl record for me is alive, and download is great, but it's not it's
The original.
it's same as films.
Yeah.
And there's a vinyl too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. And the look of it as well, you can tell if something's been shot on film or if it's been shot digitally. So I prefer film, but obviously nowadays technology is harder to shoot film.
and that approach is you've got to take it.
And it's more expensive, you'd shoot one lot a day, by shooting film.
We were joking about the days when you used to get the film processed and you get stickers back and them are slightly out of both.
Yeah, yeah.
We've got to move an item over to the right or something.
Yeah.
So my father was obviously, special so he's back in the day when it was filmed. That he would literally be exposing it. He'd be up in his dark room. As for me, it was just complete bonkers science what he used to do. But and you obviously know how to do that, but you'd move this.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Like there was a dream project or subject you'd love to shoot one day, what would it be?
Ooh, good question. I've got a few sort of projects I'm not working on, but I'm getting ready to work on.
Right.
So I want to start producing short films for people, but like insightful ones. So the one I'm planning to shoot is basically about a warrior in a garden. So it's better to be a warrior in a garden than it is to be a gardener in war. That's about a book I read a long time ago, and it's human conditioning. I like to show that with my video work that everyone's here to evolve, everyone's here to move on to the next phase of what a human is, essentially. And
That sort of film when you come to it. Yeah, how do you even to make a decision on who's going to be in it? And also, do you shoot in black and white or color? If it's quite a mindful film, how do you pick in color, or do you change the contrast?
yeah,
How would you make this decision?
so it depends on the mood of the video. So if it's quite dull and sad, then you tend to have things in black and white because it shows lack of color, shows that there's no happy feelings. And then for color, for instance, there's there's millions of different color recipes you can have together. So, you know, if you're shooting in the camera, red doesn't have to be red. It could be orange, or green doesn't have to be green. It could be blue. So you can play with the colors, see what, because the color helps drive the film as well. You know, if it looks good and the colors look good, then the film will, it will marry up together. Yeah, and you're more likely to watch it if it looks good.
I'm looking forward to seeing this one. I was just should apologise if they can hear noise in the background. We're a functioning auction house, so people really should use sure on making it all. What's the one thing people misunderstand about what you do?
Um, Probably like how precise you have to be. I think because what might look in focus in the camera might not be in focus when you look at it on the screen. So for me, I think people underestimate how much work and time goes in to making things look precise. So for me, like, I'm always making sure I can see it's in focus before I look at it on the screen. So if it's in focus on the camera, then I don't have to worry about anything other than that.
Right. See, so this is people fully kick. It's a lot easier than it really. You can see because a lot of people probably go, you just point and click nowadays. But no. Got to have an eye, see how you work, and I know it's different, of course. Okay, the last question: who are your biggest inspirations from the world of visual storytelling? Or who's the person you look at?
Good questions.
That visual work, wow.
My first one in mind is probably still Steven Spielberg, the director. Jurassic Park, watching that movie, being a young kid, that was mainly my drive for wanting to get into visual effects and stuff, because that stuff didn't exist when they were making that movie. They had to make that, the special effects for the dinosaurs. No one knew what to do because they'd never seen a dinosaur move before.
I remember that when it came out, and all the news was all about the technology. These this has quite by to plasticity, Jason and the Argonaut. I mean, yeah, that film was groundbreaking,
Massively,
inspiration,
massively, yeah.
and just for it.
Yeah, and how the visual effects department, they had to create the software to create the dinosaur.
And we're talking pre-AI. We are talking pre-AI, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's just, so that really was the catalyst to start 100%. And that was more about the technology used to create the magic on the screen. Yeah.
And now look at today, we've got AI to help drive us forward. And without what they did with Jurassic Park, we wouldn't have what we have today, I don't think.
Right. So it's almost like wartime creates medicine and aeroplanes, and the movie industry creates this creativity to sell it and get inspired, and then bring on new technology and learn all about.
Yeah. And then you pass it on to the next person, and then they do the same and keeps going. Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. Excellent. Thank you, Miah.
That's all right. Thanks for having me.
That was a great chat. I've actually done quite a lot. But I'm looking forward to seeing the short movie.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll have another team chat. The next person, next up, I'll be back doing a job behind the camera, so he can trap him with creative work, and I don't have to get involved in that side of it because I'll be used.
Awesome. That was good.
We're going to be next.